What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kalin Trades back with another video. Listen, I'm gonna go through liquidity today because it's one of the most important things that you'll ever learn as it pertains to trading. So by the end of this video, you are going to have a clear understanding of it. It took me months to even get to the idea of liquidity, and it took me about 2 weeks to really understand it. But in this video, my goal is to have you master it and understand it in its entirety so that you can thrive in the markets today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if this video was helpful. If you guys want me to go through any other beginner strategies, any other beginner concepts, please let me know. My goal is to be a blessing to you. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're gonna call liquidity the money grab. That's what we're gonna call it today. So this is gonna be the money grab explained. And so the big players, they typically will hunt stop losses of basic strategies. That's what we're gonna call it. It's really the retail strategies, but it's gonna be from the basic strategies. And this guide is gonna break down exactly how you spot it and how you can utilize it to your advantage so you don't get caught up. So what is liquidity? What is the money grab? Money grab is where a lot of traders have placed orders, especially their stop losses, near obvious price levels. So think about it as a pool of money. I'm gonna pull up the chart right here just so you guys can see what it looks like. Just think of a pool of money, right? If you guys are just chilling, like imagine the pool is right here. What people are trying to do, what the big players are trying to do when they get into the market, act like this mouse is like the big player, right? The big players are trying to come in, grab that money, and get the freak up out of there. That's literally what liquidity is. It's that simple. It's the big players literally trying to steal your money. That is what liquidity in its concept is. That's why we're calling it the money grab, because they're trying to grab our money and keep the market going. Now, you have to build up liquidity to be able to move the market in a specific direction. And so it's typically above the highs or below the lows. And so we're gonna go through that in a little bit just so you guys can have a clear understanding of what that looks like. But I want to break it down a little bit more for you guys. So what is a stop pull? Why does it matter? Certain price levels act like magnets because traders place orders from predictable patterns. Remember, it's the easy beginner strategies that people will get caught up in. They know this. And so they'll target those areas because they know when they put their stop loss right here, because they trade support and resistance, or they trade trend lines. I'm even going to fair value gap liquidity too at the end of this video. The big players know about your strategy. They're trying to hunt your stop loss. So let's go ahead and talk about liquidity sweeps and liquidity runs. So if we're looking at the chart right here, this is just our imaginary chart. If price is just going up and down, up and down, up and down like this, just going in what we call a range, you guys should know what ranges is if you're looking up liquidity at this point of your journey. If not, you skipping ahead. Go watch my market structure video. But what you guys will see, okay, you got the high right here, and then you got the low right here, right? So price is in this range right now. We got our support and we got our resistance, right? What liquidity sweeps will typically do, and this is gonna be very important, you got the liquidity sweep and the liquidity run. We're gonna call it the money sweep and the money run, okay? So our stop loss is gonna be right here. Our entries right here, our take profits right here. This is what they do when they see our orders in the market, right? And it's almost evil the way that they do this thing. They'll get in the market, jump in. So you're in the market right here. They'll even give you a little bit of rejection, just like how we saw. They'll come down, take you out of the market, and go back into the direction that you already said that it was going to go. That is what a liquidity sweep is. So let me go through that again just so you guys can have a clear understanding. They're gonna get you in the market, trigger you in. Sometimes they won't even give you a rejection. They'll just stop you out and then go into the direction that you said it was gonna go in. It's almost evil the way that they do it. What a liquidity run is, which is what we saw, buy order right here, they get you in the market, make you feel real good about yourself. Like, oh yeah, I'm crushing it. Oh yeah, we got good rejection. This is what a liquidity run is. And this is what happens when Trump tweets something or when news happens typically, it just runs. It hunts your stop loss and just runs without you. That is what a liquidity run is. So let's go ahead and do a sell example of that just so you guys can have good clarity for it. So you place your stop loss right here. You got your entry right here. You see the pattern of up, down, up, down. It has to continue, right? So price just goes up. Boom. Triggers you in. Maybe a little rejection. Maybe just a little bit of rejection. And boom, it just runs into the opposite direction. So that is what a liquidity sweep and a liquidity run is. So before we go into anything else, I just want to show you guys a clear example, right? So most people will see the market right here. A lot of people won't know what the heck is going on, but most people will look right here and see that this is a support level. So you have a rejection right here, a rejection right here, and then you got a rejection right here. And then you have the resistance level. You got rejection right there, rejection right here. It didn't even get up here. You got rejection right here, and it didn't even get up here. So here's what most people do when they trade support and resistance, and this is why they get tripped up. They'll have their entry right here and have a tight stop loss, or they'll have an entry right here and then they'll have a tight stop loss. Now, I'm not saying that support and resistance doesn't work. I don't want to throw off anybody who trades support and resistance, but I just want you to know that that's an area that the big players will stop. They'll hunt that. And let's move this buy out the way for now. So most people would have got in the market right here because they saw the pattern, right? They saw the pattern of ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's zoom in. Most people would have got in the market right here, and you would have got a little bit of rejection, and you would have been like, yep, let's go. That looks really good. I'm loving that. Let's go. You got a little bit of rejection. Oh no. Oh Lord. Oh God. Stop loss hit. Oh Lord. That's literally what a liquidity run is. So we're gonna talk about the money grab run and the money grab sweep. This is what we call a money grab run. The money grab run, and we'll go into all that in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself, but the money grab run is essentially where price pushes through and it just keeps going. They know that there's limit orders here, and so what they're doing is they're just gonna give you that little bit of rejection to make you feel yourself and then drop. That's the run. And shoot, some people will say, well, this support is turning to resistance. Let me just get in on the break of that and let's just see what happens. You would have hit TP on that, which is great, but what happens is they notice that there's patterns like that, and so you have to be very careful, because even if you didn't go for a 2R and you were trying to go for a 4R, you would have lost the trade. So you have to be very careful with how you're utilizing this because they know. So let's go ahead and go back to this. Our line is still valid. Let's just see, price historically was going right here. Let's just go ahead and try to catch a quick little 2R. It's a rejection right here. Let's just say we're in the market. All right. That's another run. So we didn't get a sweep, but that's another run. All right, so support and resistance has been debunked. Let's actually try to go do trend lines. Let's see what trend lines look like just exclusively without any other confluences. And again, I'm telling you, these guys know what we look at when we're trading the market. So if you would have traded just this basic trend line strategy of just 1, 2, and then you entered on the third one, you would have caught a banger. But that's what I'm telling you. Retail strategies are not bad. I know profitable traders who trade retail strategies. Here's where it becomes a problem. When you don't have additional confluences in the market, what can happen is you can come to the market late. And you could say, I want to get in on this guy right here. This thing has just been pushing up for a long time. I'm going to create a tight stop loss, and I'm just going to try to go ahead and get up in there. Okay. Little rejection. Stop loss hit. So here's the definition of the liquidity sweep or the money sweep that you can remember. You got buy side sweep and you got sell side sweep. We just went over every single example of that, of where price will go up as it's ranging. It'll go up. That's the buy side sweep. It swept you out and went in your direction. The sell side sweep, it's ranging, sweeps you out, goes into the direction. So we went over this right here, the liquidity grab and the liquidity sweep. The liquidity grab is really a fast grab to a level that snapbacks immediately. Sometimes it rejects off of your entry. It's quick, messy, not confirmed. And then the liquidity sweep is where it takes your stop. So I'm gonna probably attach a PDF doc just so you guys can see the different variations of liquidity grabs, because it's not just support and resistance, it's not just trend lines. It's really a lot of other things that most retail traders do that are, retail strategies. So you have, like I said, the equal high, equal low, prior day session, all that stuff. If you guys want that, let me know. I can get my team to work on that, but you gotta let me know in the comment section if you want a PDF for it. If you do, then we'll put it together and make it really, really good for you. But once you guys have a clear understanding of that, it'll help you a lot. Let me give you guys an example of just random liquidity grabs that we may see in the market. So in the 15-minute, let's go ahead and find some liquidity sweeps. I see so many already, right? And this happens in the market all the time. And once you finish this video and have a clear understanding of it, I'm telling you, you're gonna see it every single time. All right, so we're on the 15-minute right here. I'm just zooming out just so that we can be able to see clearly what's going on, right? If you guys are looking at this area right here, this is a low in the market. We're gonna go through a couple just so there's no confusion. But typically, price would not break this low unless it was reversing. If you wanted to get in the market at this order block, we'll go through SMC strategies and all that later. But if you wanted to get in on this order block, typically price would reject off of it from this zone. I'm not gonna be confusing, just don't be confused. Just know that price would reject off of it and you could potentially enter up here and take that thing up. We're not gonna be confusing, I told you. I'll make it simple today. So price should not be breaking this low. What liquidity does is it'll do this. It not only took out this low, but it took out this low as well. Liquidity is a bully. It took out two lows and then just shot up. It's really mean sometimes. So this right here is what we would call a liquidity sweep. It just swept. It swept two lows and it just went up a little bit. That's the liquidity sweep in real time. Let's go look for another one because this is just insane what price does, bro. This is just literally insane. I see another one. All right, so we got the push up right here. If you saw this rejection and you was like, man, I gotta get back in on this, I'm gonna take this area right here. I'm gonna set my stop loss to be at this low right here, maybe a little bit above. If price comes up, it's gonna reject. This is what liquidity sweeping is. Boom, took you out and just ran away without you. That is what liquidity is. That's what a liquidity sweep is. It's the most annoying thing of all time. This is where people complain in my DMs all the time. Price stopped me out and then went in my direction. It happens all the time. So here's what we can do to rectify being liquidity swept and liquidity ran through. Dang, that sounds crazy. Liquidity ran through? Whoa. Wait, sorry, y'all. Last example, because this one is crazy. I just saw it on my way. What I want you guys to actually do is when you guys backtest, I want you to just find different liquidity sweeps. I want you guys to do that. But you got this little zone right here that you could enter off of, and you just put your stop loss right at where the high is right here. And you could try to go for that 1 to 3, and then boom, took you out of the market. Just swept you and then just ran. So all right, let's go ahead and let's try to figure out how to capitalize on liquidity sweeps and liquidity runs. I used to teach this a lot actually, and a lot of people don't really know about it, but there's a thing called fair value gap liquidity, right? So you have all these different fair value gaps that were formed in the market, right? You got this one right here, which actually gave you really great rejection and you would have smacked it. This fair value gap right here, which also got great rejection. I'm telling you, fair value guys, it be smacking. This fair value gap right here has yet to have been addressed. Every fair value gap in this succession got addressed. Why didn't this one get addressed? Well, it's because it needs to. Price actually needs to come back to this. And it happens a lot, especially on the 5-minute time frame. It's actually freaky how often price comes back to it. But look at this. Boom, triggered you in, took you out. You could have went for a lot of money on that trade, bruh. So as we get ready to wrap up this video, I want you guys to know these are 4 different things that you have to do to identify liquidity. You're gonna identify different levels. So if you guys saw my last video where I talked about highs and lows of market structure, those are just basic levels. You wanna mark the highs and lows in the charts, and then you wanna be able to see, this says demand to reclaim, but you wanna see how often price sweeps an area of liquidity. So when price sweeps a liquidity, you can take advantage of it and go into the opposite direction. So sometimes it's a sweep, sometimes it's a run. You can never predict when a liquidity sweep or run happens, but you can always take advantage of it. The next thing is you're gonna confirm the strategy structure. So just like I said, you got the highs and you got the lows. You're gonna confirm the structure. And then the last thing is you're gonna control your risk. There can be times where you are in a trade after it swept liquidity or after it ran through with liquidity, and you can get in the market on a lower time frame or a different time frame and still get cooked in the market. You could still get caught in liquidity. I typically will say, if I lose in the market, it's either from a bad day or it's just because the market is trash. It's building liquidity. So y'all, I really hope this video brought a little bit of clarity to what money grabs are in the market. And I really, really pray that it just blessed you. This is my first time giving game on a complex system and a complex kind of topic. And it, like I said, it took me a long time to really figure out and understand liquidity, but I really, really hope that this helped you. If it did, please let me know in the comment section. If you guys have any questions, if you guys feel like I need to go deeper on any other portions of liquidity, just let me know, please, and I'll make sure that I do that. So I just want to serve people. So go ahead and utilize what I taught you in this video, and I really, really hope that it blesses you. Also, go ahead and check out this video right here if you haven't already. I think it's going to be a game changer for you and your trading journey. Until next time, I'll see you there.